go.
Okay. You want to burn it?
Waiting for this to heat up, and what we're going to do is we're going to shrink all of this glue down tight. Anything that we see that's loose has to be secure before we can tighten up the rest of it, sort of thing. So that's basically where we're going to go. We'll just take turns working on it, sort of thing. So yeah, because the heat, the metal acts as a heat sink, so it robs the heat away from this as quick as you put it on. So you have to leave it on here. You don't want to do it too long out there, but right here, yeah, wherever there's something behind it, it's going to start to work. So I'm just starting to test it to see if it's going to work. See this here? There's a little bump right there. Can you see where my fingers are moving it?
Yeah.
Okay, now watch what happens. I'm just going to go over this, and I'm going to. There, and I'll just go up to that. See how nice and tight that tacked it down?
Yeah.
So that's actually secure now, okay? I'm really happy with how that's attaching itself. Any of the excess glue that's on there, we're going to wipe off, okay? Not that it matters at the moment because we'll be putting more stuff over it, but
any large lump.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Fusing is the important part.
Absolutely, yeah. So all we want to do is make sure that this is well attached, and that's why I like to actually leave it for a time.
Yeah, sure.
When it is taking time for the glue to dry. So that's, if you notice what's happening, I'm just picking a speed. I'm not going fast. I'm just making sure, and wherever I come to something that's not tacked down.
But it's heat and pressure.
Heat and pressure, yep. So this was going to get us to where we want to go pretty quickly. I'm just using a tip. These irons here are hard to get accurate. There's glue underneath it, so I'm just activating that glue that's underneath it, sort of thing. Don't worry too much if you get a little weedy.
It's going to fuse, but it's also going to shrink.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what it's doing.
So this is our opportunity to get those little wrinkles out.
Absolutely. Now don't get too concerned if you don't get every single little wrinkle out of it, because it's all going to be covered at the end.
Flat and fused.
Yep, absolutely.
Fused and flat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
heating up on here might actually get
yeah,
rid of any small wrinkles too.
yeah. So now when I see this is about as far out, I don't want this tip to go too much further out into that right now.
And you're going past the top
A
of the
little bit, yeah, because I just want to wrap it around, make sure she's tacked up. Now it's taken some out of here. If you notice that little bit if you watch that, it's taken some of that up. It's taken some tension onto that right now, and that's fine. So
coming through.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the aluminum isn't as bad as the steel. The steel will rub at that. What ends up happening, you get an accumulation.
Yeah,
and don't worry about it. We'll clean it all up afterwards.
Yeah.
This is just a rough and tough rumble thing that we're going to go through right now. So I think what we'll do is we'll set that iron at, say, 120. So all I'm doing is rubbing that, because what was happening is the fabric was being held out from the steel, and flopped in. It wasn't making enough contact, so I just went on the inside to try and tack that up. Right where we need to go now. Let's work this like this. And all we're going to do now, we don't want to go out onto that yet, so I'm going to say just work this like this.
Just up to the edge of the material.
Just the edges of the steel skin. You can feel that pipe that goes through, that tube that goes through. Some of that out of there.
Okay.
That.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I guess that little bunch there, we can't do too.
Not at the moment, but we will in a minute. So I'm going to take this from you for a second, because I'm worried about flopping over. So what you need to do is just take the corner.
Right.
And what we'll do is do some of this. Okay, now again, right here, I'm just not getting worried about this because it's all going to be covered with the finishing tape when we get finished. So we just want to make sure that we've got good contact with everything and that it's glued well into the tube, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay. The aircraft? Yes. We're doing this one in full materials that's approved, you know, sort of thing. Yeah. That's when we got to be careful with our temperatures.
So
So right now, if this is over 250, I don't really care, to be honest.
so you do the successive passes all at the same temperature?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
And what if you're high?
Well, what ends up happening is it shrinks, and then if you take it to 250, which is recommended, that takes the first shrink. Now, what it does, all it does is you get it taut, but it's not set. And then crank your irons up to 350,
Oh, so you do, okay.
and then you redo absolutely everything again at 350.
Yeah. So that's the second pass.
That's the second pass, and that should be enough if you do it correctly.
And if
What we're
you
gonna
do
do is
another pass,
Well, it's not the fact that you can do a number of passes, providing it's not over 350. If it's over 350, what'll end up happening is the locking mechanism that's happening with the fabric at that point in time, because this is a heat-sensitive polyester, it actually unlocks it, and now it starts to get loose again. So it's important to be at 250 to 350, but no more. At 400 degrees, it starts to open up at around.
So we're going from the outside in.
Doesn't matter, yeah, it doesn't really matter. You can come from any direction you want, as long as we just get all that glued area, you know. Yep, that's all we want to do. So anyway, like this, all I'm going to do is just do this. So I'll start up at this end if you want to take your iron and just
finish,
keep,
okay,
yeah, just
you bet.
keep more of it, you know.
Yep.
Yep, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
No problem. We're setting the iron at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and so the intent is that we're going to take all of the wrinkles out of here. So I'll just show. We'll start in the center, about here, and I'm just going to slowly bring it back and forth. Just watching what's happening with my fabric. And if you notice, the wrinkles are starting to slowly go away. And I just keep bringing it back and forth, and back and forth. So, you notice it took a lot out of it. It didn't take everything. So, I only did up to about there. So what I'll do is I'll go back up to this area here. And just back and forth like this. I don't want to go too fast. I want to watch the fabric more than I want to do anything else. So you see, this is nice and tight, but there's wrinkles all through this area. So that's not a big deal. We don't worry about that right at the moment. So I'm going to give you this. Now, and it doesn't matter. You can go this way or you can go that way. So you're there. So start up working this in the center sort of thing. Work out to this way. Come back up, finish this off. And then we'll move to the next one, okay? So I'll just set her down right on it there. Now, yeah, just slow, yeah, don't be in a hurry. Get her nice and flat. Put the iron right on the fabric. That's there you go. So you see how that wrinkle just went away? So it's now just a matter of doing what we're doing throughout the whole thing. So when you get down to the corners, if you'll all come back with the little one, and I'm going to start taking care of a bunch of this stuff. So if you can go up to there.
Now, did you go from here up?
It doesn't matter. It makes no difference.
Okay.
It doesn't make any difference at all. Whatever works for you. This is about convenience for you and not getting yourself tired out because sometimes we can get ourselves stretched out and that's not so good for us, sort of thing. Yeah. So try to keep her as flat on the cloth as you can. Like if you just take the iron like this, I'm going to just take this and you go like that. Now, you see what I'm doing?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you're not, and you
I'm
don't.
like, yeah.
Yeah, don't turn that.
Okay.
Just let the iron do its thing, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So I have like a pie shape here.
Mm-hmm.
Do I just work on one
Doesn't make
pie
it-
shape
no,
at a time?
Just go right over top of it.
Does it matter? I can
Because
just
you're
slide right over. Okay.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
keep going. Everything should be good.
Okay.
Now, one thing we might want to do is make sure that the iron is nice and clean, because it could be picking up some dust from time to time.
It's got green on it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that. That's just a bit of glue. So what we'll do is we're just gonna take this, and this is nothing that has to be real exciting about this, but just all I'm trying to do is get rid of some of that glue so that this thing slides a little bit easier. Yeah. There, I'll clean off this one. So that might be a little bit better. It's not going to be, it's not perfect because we're going to be picking up glue all the time. So don't worry too much about it ever. Okay, so this time we're going to come to this side and we'll start doing the same. So you can just start wherever you want to start.
Okie dokie.
So we usually want to sort of get into the middle to
Yeah,
start,
so
and then
do
do
it.
one side for the rib section, and we'll do the whole rib section.
Teach them the knot.
Hmm?
Teach them the knot.
same
Teach them
thing.
in- What it could be used for. It's aluminum? Yeah, it's aluminum, yeah. RF shielding.
Yeah. So now just come across and then come back on this side, because you see this is all yet to be finished
So-
up. Yep.
And work my way back?
Yep, exactly. And just pull it straight back. Yeah, there you go. And don't worry about, like, with this, it's going to rub your heat. So you can, when you're on top of it, slow down.
Okay.
Because you want the fabric safe. Now, you see these wrinkles here?
Yeah.
I'm going to take those out of there. And when you get the wrinkles out of it, then we're pretty good. But we've still got a few wrinkles, so you see the wrinkles still in here? Yeah, so just keep coming up there. What we're in the process of doing right now, Randy, is we're going to heat. We've already heated this to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to heat the whole thing now to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And what that does, this being a heat-sensitive polyester, it's going to shrink it, and it's going to actually lock the weave so that it doesn't shrink anymore, and it won't stretch anymore. If we go beyond 350 degrees, if we get up around 400 to 425 degrees, it'll actually start to expand outwards again. We've lost that locking mechanism that it is, so it's very heat sensitive. So we're just waiting for our irons to get up to temperature, and we're going to start in the center, and you're going to notice that it's going to go fairly quickly this time in comparison to the 250 degrees, and we'll do the whole thing. We're going to flip it over and do the far side, and we're just going to work our way through any time that we're keeping an eye open for any kind of little wrinkles and stuff like that, and we'll take all the wrinkles out at that point in time. Alrighty, just that one little pass, you can see a different color,
I can see a wrinkle right
and
there.
you can see little wrinkles, right?
Yep.
So you see the difference in the color? So when we're done, we're going to see that width of that all over. So I'm just going to go,
So you're doing a slow pass, not,
yeah. Now, at certain conditions,
oh, I can see the color changing.
absolutely. So this is what you're looking for. Now again, when you get over any of the metal parts,
Right?
it's going to rob your heat, so you just go
Slow
slightly
down.
slower
Okay. Yep.
as you're going across this.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to go back up here. This is where I started. And I'm going to go back up all the way to the end. Now, before I'm through, I'll go around to the other side and I would do the wrap side.
Okay.
And I'm also going to go with this I'm going to slow down real good, make sure that I put lots of pressure on this.
Okay.
I'm trying to basically make sure that all of the glue is secured and tacked right up. Okay? So when I get into areas like this,
Just use the corner of the
I'm
iron.
just going to use the corner of the iron, work around that kind of stuff, just trying to get all of the wrinkles and whatnot out of there. We will be putting more stuff on it as a finish, so we don't worry too much about anything like that. So I'm going to set this down and I'll let you have it. Now, see the difference?
Yeah,
now?
I can hear, you can hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear that tension.
Sure. So you go ahead.
Start top and work to bottom.
About the
You
middle,
started in the middle.
I started in the middle, and I'd work one way, and then I'd work the other way.
Okay.
You don't want to go one side or that because it pulls
Okay.
too much. So you
Okay.
start in the center.
You can see it changing color.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
You see it fly?
No.
Yeah, you can see the.
Oh, yeah. Goes from being shiny to matte.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So that's a good indication. So you're always looking to see for things like that, where you've been, all the wrinkles go away. Yeah, so start in the center. Don't be afraid to put a little bit of pressure on your iron. You know, there you go. Yep. Now, yeah, it can go a little bit faster because once you know, yeah, I'd say speed up slightly. Yeah, there you go. About that speed, because now what you're doing is that you're covering the whole area that's necessary to get everything. So now you start back there, yeah. A little flatter.
Okay.
Now, so approximately a foot.
Yeah.
See,
So it flips over.
It flipped over once.
Yeah.
And that's the standard test, has been for probably 90 years. It didn't go over more than once.
Nope.
So it just did that perfect flip.
Yeah.
So we're happy. This is where we're going to stop. Is I'm going to put reinforcing tape on every one of the ribs. On this side, we'll flip it over, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. And this is going to hold the rib stitching in place when we apply the rib stitch cord. So I'm just going to go to there, starting it right there. I just want to make sure that I'm over top of that rib. I'm just feeling for the rib in my hand. And I'm going down to within about ½ an inch of this trailing edge. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit, and I'll just cut that off right there. So I think the rest what we'll do is okay. So again, just going to start there, and I'm going to bring it down, put a little bit of tension on it. I want to try to make sure that I don't have too many wrinkles in this because I can't get the wrinkles out easily once I press it hard. So I'm just going down there. Center, not happy with it, so I'm going to pull it up. There. I'm going to cut I don't want to go right to the end. I can, it's not going to hurt anything if I do go to the very end, but I can pull this back a little bit, and we'll just trim it off there. Now, again, I'll give you this one, and you can start there. Now, just I want you to run your hand along here. See, I got off a little bit. I'm too far that way.
So actually, ideally, you want the center of the tape on the center of the...
And about there.
So are we doing a stretch and seal? So you stretch it before you seal it? Is that...
Yeah, I put lots of pressure on it just to make sure it's straight.
Okay.
It's easier to do it when you put a little bit of pressure on it to keep it straight.
Right.
So now that's much better. I'm much more happy with that one. I got the center line pretty good. Okay. So now I'm just going to go back and forth and rub it. When you see stuff like this,
Take it off,
take it off right away.
Okay.
And there's more goes over that tape?
Oh yeah, lots more. Yeah. That little bit of tape. So Russ, Clive, if you want to just grab that from him, just to hold it in place for him. So what I'll do, maybe I'll give you a hand. I'm gonna sneak in here, I'm gonna cut some of that on you,
Okay.
if you want. If you go down further, when you get close. So I'm just gonna go like that right
Okay.
there, and then I'll hand you the tape and step to my finger, and away you go.
I got a shadow on that rib. Oh, you see it now. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we got one more to go. Now we just won't do this
Oh,
one,
okay.
or we're not going to do that angle one either.
And so, why wouldn't we do that? Just so I know.
Well, you normally only do ribs. This becomes this diagonal here isn't truly a rib,
Okay.
and it'll sit up above the fabric a little bit, you know, so it's not going to actually touch. Now,
Okay.
this one up here, all I'm going to do with it is I'm going to put a reinforcing tape, and I might even put a reinforcing tape over top of that, but I'm not going to rib stitch it, because you just don't normally
Okay.
rib stitch it. Because rib stitching is named for ribs.
Right?
Yeah. This
That's
isn't-
not a rib.
That's not really a rib.
No.
It's
Okay.
just it's a diagonal spacer.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll get the old irons heated up again. Okay, 350, and away we go.